This kid treated getting to lunch like it was the Olympics. The second the lunch bell rang, he was gone. He'd speed walk through the halls, weave around teachers, and sprint down the stairs because he wanted to be the first kid in line. His friends could never keep up. One afternoon, he came flying down the main staircase, taking 3 steps at a time like a pro. Well, he was moving too fast that the last few steps, he fell, and he felt bad. The cafeteria doors were right there. Everyone was coming behind him, and they all saw it, pointing at him, laughing. Loser! His own friends walked past him, and one of his friends looked down at him and said, "Bro, if you get up and hurry, you can still be first in line." Well, that awoken something in him, because he got up, and he limped his way to the cafeteria, and somehow he was second in line. Yes! But after school that day, his knee was so swollen, his mom had to take him to the doctor, who was so proud of what he accomplished. But the next day, he took a little bit more time getting to lunch. This kid's dad had a rule about cereal. You were not allowed to open a new box until the old one was completely gone. Every last crumb had to be eaten. The boxes would stay on top of the refrigerator, lined up in order from oldest to newest. If box 1 wasn't finished, box 2 would not be opened. One afternoon, this kid's dad came home with a brand new cereal that looked absolutely delicious. Oh, that looks so good. Kids got so excited until they remembered, dude, doesn't your dad have a rule about cereal? Because there was still 6 boxes of cereal still on that fridge. So his friend, who was sleeping over that night, looked at each other. Let's eat them all then. Okay. For the next hour and a half, they ate bowl after bowl of cereal. There's like Frosted Flakes, Raisin Bran, Cocoa Puffs. By the time they finally reached the brand new box, they were so full of cereal and milk, this kid's friend puked on the floor. And then that made him puke. Neither of them could take another bite. Guess we'll just try it tomorrow morning then. Yeah, I guess you're right. The dad came downstairs, looked at this mess, and knew exactly what happened. Then he just laughed to himself. That's crazy. This kid knew his little brother was going to take the exact same class he was in the next year, and that teacher had a reputation of reusing the same assignments year after year. Well, the older brother kept every single graded worksheet he ever got back, and on the last day of school, he put it all in a manila folder and hid it behind this very old bookcase in the room. Before summer break ended, he told his little brother, "Hey, on the first day, don't tell anybody, but look behind the bookcase in Mrs. Johnson's class." His little bro was like, "Okay, what?" But after class that one day, he reached behind the bookcase and found it. What? For Billy. It was like finding treasure. And it was all in order of first assignment to last assignment. Sure enough, when the first assignment was passed out by the teacher, he looked at the folder. It was the same. And that's when he knew, oh, he hooked me up. He had every single homework worksheet and answer for the entire class. Nobody knew how he was getting such amazing grades on all the homework, but kept failing the tests. Well, doesn't matter because he still passed, and he was forever grateful for his brother. This kid's dad came up with the weirdest punishment of all time. This kid got a bad grade on his report card. His dad wasn't too happy. You know, kid, I'm not too happy. So he wanted to ground him, but he wanted to do something different. So he came up with this thing called Carry Gary. You see, Gary was a garden gnome that sat on the front porch, and his new punishment for whenever his kid got in trouble was that if you're in this house, you have to be carrying Gary. So every time this kid would come home from school, he would have to pick up the garden gnome and carry him around for the rest of the night until bed. He wasn't allowed to set Gary down beside him. He had to constantly be carrying Gary, even during dinner, watching TV, going to the bathroom. Now, if his parents ever caught him setting Gary down, the punishment time would reset. Oh, you put him down. Another week starts now. Ah, man! One afternoon, his friend came over, and he saw this. Whoa, what's going on? His friend was in the kitchen making a grilled cheese, holding Gary. Oh, making a grilled cheese. What's with the garden gnome? First of all, his name's Gary. Second of all, don't ask. The longest time the punishment lasted was 3 weeks. And it's funny, because it's not really a punishment. He's still allowed to do stuff at the house. He just had to carry that dang gnome. That's hilarious. This kid carried a tiny stapler everywhere he went at school. And it wasn't for stapling paper. It was for stapling bags of chips. At lunch, he would notice people putting half-filled bags of Doritos or Cheetos back into their lunchbox or backpack. That's gonna be a mess. He'd walk over there. You saving those for later? Before they could answer, he would say, "Let me see them." He'd take the bag, fold the top, and staple it shut. There you go. Now they're not gonna spill in your bag. He said it kept the chips fresh for longer. And well, he's right. Pretty soon, everybody knew him as the Stapler Kid. If someone had to seal anything, goldfish, pretzels, kids would literally just yell in the cafeteria, "Yo, Stapler guy!" And he would show up. He never charged anybody anything. He said he just genuinely hated seeing perfectly good chips go stale or cause a mess in somebody's backpack. He did this out of the kindness of his own heart, and you gotta respect it. This dad would charge his kids anytime they left something out, like dirty clothes in the floor, shoes in the hallway, dishes in the sink, backpack on the stairs. Every single time they had to pay him their own money. You see, his kids had gotten an allowance when they were younger, and then when they were old enough, they both had weekend jobs, so they had money to pay whenever this happened. Every time they had to give him money, he would write it down in a notebook. The kids thought it was ridiculous. The dad thought he was running a business. For years, they complained about this. Complained about how much money he had taken from them. Then, on the day each of them graduated high school, the dad handed them an envelope. Inside of each of their envelopes was every single dollar he had ever charged them, along with a handwritten list showing exactly what every fine was for. And at the bottom of that list was another note. It said, interest. He had been adding extra money on top of everything they paid him. The dad smiled and said, "I never wanted your money, kids. I just wanted you to stop leaving your junk all over my house. And I figured this would be a nice, fun way to help get your adult life started." The kids cried. They said that they spent years thinking about how strict their dad was, only to realize he'd been saving every single penny for them and adding a lot more of his own money to it as well. That's amazing. Sleepover tonight. Heck yeah! This kid went to sleep over at his friend's house for the first time. When he got there, he noticed there was a stopwatch hanging on the wall right outside the bathroom door. Now, he didn't think too much of it at first, but that night he went to take a shower because they were playing with dirt earlier. He goes in, closes the door, locks it, he's showering. Right when the water turned on, he heard a beep. Apparently, what happens in this house is anytime anybody in this household goes to the bathroom, whether it's to shower, take a dump ski, or anything, the dad would start the timer. Now, if you came out of the bathroom before the timer hit 7 minutes, you were good, nothing would happen. But if it hit 7 minutes, the dad would immediately run downstairs and shut off all of the water. So then whoever would be taking a shower or whatever, or washing their hands, it would turn off. But that wasn't sinister enough for old man. No, he changed his methods. Now, if you were in the shower, after that timer hit 7 minutes, he would go downstairs, but it wouldn't turn the water off. He would just turn off the hot water valve. So the shower water would immediately turn freezing cold. And then all you could hear from that bathroom was the maniacal laughing of the dad downstairs. What a crazy guy. This kid wore wooden clogs to school every day. Everyone made fun of him for it. Hey, nice wooden shoes, freak. Yeah, did you steal those from a pilgrim? Yeah. At first, he ignored it. Then one afternoon, a kid yelled an insult to him from a corner of the hallway, and I guess this kid finally snapped. The clogged kid lifted 1 foot off the ground, and he flicked the wooden shoe straight off, and with perfect aim, it flew and hit the bully in the face. The whole hallway went silent. This kid, like I said, had perfect aim. From then on, if somebody made fun of his wooden shoes, all that person would hear would be the crack of the shoe hitting the floor, and then a few seconds later, thwop! Wood right to the face. He never missed. He got in trouble a few times for this, but it never stopped him from retaliating against bullies. And eventually, people stopped making fun of his wooden shoes, and he actually gained a lot of respect. Nice.